Well, a year or so ago I bought a rather nice dolly, in other words a washing tool for you doing washing, and I put aside this piece of wood here from my wood down in the lathe there. It's a bit split in places, so I'm hoping it'll do for what I want. I have to see, it may be too split, but it's been very, very dry this summer. If I can slice this up and use it on the lathe, it would be great. Let's see what we can do to make the 5 or so legs that are required to finish it. I'll just show it to you. I'm quite sure what wood this is. It's quite light. So at first it was oak, but I don't think it is. Could be, but I think it's more likely to be ash, and that's what I've actually got from my wood. Full of woodworm, but I'm going to treat that. And I'm going to make 1, 2, 3 legs the same as these. I think these should just be alright, they're not broken yet, even though they have worm. So what we can do, see if that wood will do if it's too split. As you see, I've got quite a nice lathe here, which I haven't even used yet, and this is the dolly we're just talking about. I'll look at these bits of wood and see if they're any good, otherwise I'm going to have to use oak. Here's one broken piece that you can see from it already. I've got to not only make that length and a bit longer, but also the peg that goes from it through into these bits of wood. I've got to drill those and knock those out again as well. And to do that I'm going to need some calipers, and in a Renovating a while ago I found second hand some ideal calipers, and these will be able to measure the width of this drilled hole and turn them down to be exactly the right width to fit into there, we hope. That's how it'll work, that's how it's intended to work. Right, let's get sorted out first of all. First thing I'm going to need is the length of this wood. Let's have a look. We need it to be that length and no much longer, so we'll just make sure of that with a tape. So allowing for waste wood each end of the turning, a foot long will do nicely. So we'll say 13 inches in this case straight away, just to give a bit extra. And I've got to try and cut these to the maximum of 2 inches to try and turn them down. So let's go and get those cut first of all. Let's see if I can 2 inches out of this. So I'd like to use this wood if I can, being as it's natural and from my own wood. It's whether I can get 2 inches out of that, look, but whether I can get a straight 2 inches is something else, because it has to come all the way down to there. Let's run it through the bandsaw, see what I can get maximum. There's a slight curve in that piece, but the best I can do. Let's check that against this. It's it's going to be tight, but I put it on with a little extra really. I'm going to be a little bit thinner. Here's another 3 pieces to play with. Another nice piece to put in the bandsaw. That's the next I need to round off these as best I can. The idea being we're going to round it as much as we can and finish up with an octo, as in octopus, 8-sided piece that's almost round, ready for the lathe. So that's what I'm going to be using, these blanks. Slight split in them, but then it's only at the edge, so I'm hoping I'm going to get away with it, and it'll keep this whole bit of wood going. So looks like I'll do the same with the rest now, and do the other 3. I've got a 4th just in case I need it for emergencies and things go wrong. Well, we've got our 3 blocks of wood and spare. One of them's a little bit thin, so I don't know if I'm going to get away with it or not, but we'll have a go. Now I've got to put some saw marks just across the end to for the fitting and the end fitting of the lathe to bite in. That's that done. It's time to set the lathe up, and this is going to go onto here, on this bit here, like this. This is going to tap on right dead on centre and hopefully not split, so that it stays. This then has to be slid up. Make sure that that's loose, and we undo this bit. I had to buy this piece from England and have them over here, strangely enough. and that goes smack into the centre of that, really nice and tight. Then we start to do this up into here. This needs to be set just off here, so it's not too far and not too close. About 1/4 inch should be about right. And then again tighten up. And I'm going to need my piece of wood to check against it. It's going a bit closer. I'm going to start off with a flat wrapping up gouge. This way up, tip to the top, so the angle is that way. The hand on here. This is going very slowly. She wanted a bit faster than this, I think. Far too slow. So I need to adjust the speed on this. Right, that's adjusted the speed of the machine, so let's see how we go now. That's better. Seems to be working now. I'll work my way along from this end, making the widest measurements first. And I'm just moving the rest bar along so that I can continue along here. You can see how we rounded this off. Right, just looking at this shape being created on here, crease there, and I know that that's the area to narrow down, and the actual length, find my tape measure again, it's about 22, so we're looking at that down on that. Size of the hole that's going in there. There's this old splits down here, that doesn't really matter, that'll be strong enough. But I want to keep that old antique look anyway. Coming a little bit loose there now, I'll just tighten that up. And the problem with that is that the hole this end is thinner than the hole this end because it's going to push up into there. So I've got to get these bits of wood out. Trying. Too hard or I'll be knocking out the... Oh, it's just coming. Yeah, here we go. That's good. Got it. Or it's some of it. Like any job, you've got to invent tools for the job, or find them sometimes. Now, what have we got there? Let's have a look at that inside there and see just what is happening. Yeah, they managed to drill. Must have had a special drill tool for these because you can't really see how you go from thick to thin without a special tool. I see what's happened, they've pegged them in as well. So they've drilled a peg through here and that's why they wouldn't move. I should have drilled those pegs out first if I had known. One finds these things out later often. So 1 inch, just over 1 inch, down to 3/4 of an inch within 1.5 inches. So the length of this then, this is the awkward part, it's 1/4 inches. So if I go back to my lathe and we start the lathe up, the whole thing was 8 1/4 inches long. So 8 1/4 from here. We'll go a little bit larger so we can take it down. 8 1/4 here. There. So go a little bit longer to 8 1/2. The thickness of the wood was 1 1/2. So the thickness of wood is, if that's 8 1/4, top the distance to the leg. So 7 inches at the, it's quite a complicated fit. Can still that's the bit that's got to go through the, so once I've got one I can do the other one to it if this one's correct. Yep, just about there. Come down to 3/4, just a fraction over. So it's going to come down a bit more yet. Just about. So we're just about there now. Near as damn it there. Now back to 1 inch again. Just maybe a little bit more off. Let's take a look at where we've got to. We're not far off on that. Probably ought to slightly higher speed if we want to get a very smooth finish, but it just needs quite a bit of sanding now to get that rough old wood down, but it's got the woodworm holes in it and so on already, so it can't be far off. Just a little bit more sanding perhaps. Should do it. If we're careful now and we use a little tenon saw, we should be able to just finish this off. We can test it and see. There we go. Do that. Do this. And voila. Our pieces of wood should just break off. Look, bit of sanding down. Let's now take a look at how they might fit if we're lucky. That's what I'm about to do later. Let's just get this one first. I've got to use this as a template yet. But if we're lucky, yes, there we go. May not have done it quite narrow enough, but always take a little bit more off. It's still too long at the moment by far. I would have to spoke shave it down a bit. I think the next thing to do though is to, because I'm not far off, look, is to perhaps a fraction wider. I think they'll be alright when they're on and darken down a bit, just to make the others. And we're just turning this one to match the other, just about there. Start there we go again. Turn that off and saw that off. And we've got a pair. Just got to make the last one. Oh, there we go. These are starting to fit together. See, that one goes right in there and would almost tap into place, but of course you've got to make sure they're level as well, so a bit of work to do yet before we can check that one out. I mean, we can see even those aren't perfect, but to get level with that. There we go, first use of our lathe here. That's what we've got there then. That's alright. Just need sawing off at these ends now. So how are these pieces fitting now? All of them together. Right, so we've got, now then, for the rest we've got a couple of tools we can use, but one of them is called a spoke shave, and it's for making spokes in the old wagons. We just use this like this to pare away at the wood on these spokes. Now that should be not far off. There we go, that just actually is almost spot on, that, and looks to be the right length as well. Let's see, it's coming through here now just above, and when I tap that in with some glue I can level that off afterwards. So that one's about ready. Now I've got to do the same with the rest. On to the last one now. We've got those two through, it's just this one now to take down a little bit. Brought the old thing back to life again. Now I've got to glue those in and then look at if we can just darken this down a bit to match, and whether to varnish or polish I haven't decided yet. So we'll put a bit of glue onto each of these and tap them in, and then when it's dry we can level them off. Sort of white PVA woodworking glue will do the job. So there we go. Wipe that down. This is still there. It's only for show anyway. But you see, they've drilled through and put pegs into them there. But we aren't going to need to do that. This glue will hold those in well enough once it's dry. And there we are. That's the lathe work done. I haven't used the lathe for a long time, it's been fun. It's not exactly advanced work I was doing on it, but does the job, that's the point. What was this was originally? I think it must have been ash originally, looking at it. It's very useful for many things. The glue's just dry enough now to do the job. Then all I should have to do is just finish off. Around the outside and edges. Not to lose all the pattern, but just this old weathered look. It should do it. And we've got our old washing dolly tidied up. Let's try some polish on it. It's going to give the legs a little bit of sanding. That's the old legs, because I don't want to stand out too much against the new ones. I could use a stain polish for this. I just want a natural look to it. So I'll just put plenty of this on. That'll protect it against beetles and things, or further beetles. We've got some on here, but this is being kept very dry out here in the workshop, and there's no sign of these beetles continuing. Looking up various protections for wood against beetles, and it seems to be very varied. Progesterone or something being a very good mixture to use apparently, but most of the proprietary ones people are bad-mouthing these days, saying they're a waste of time, and it's more to do with humidity, so I can't see anything happening on this, and I will notice it once I put this polish on, because if anything tries to come out I will see either the holes reappearing or the dust. I'm going to give it a good coat right into the joints here, all the way around, so that Mrs. Beetle can't go and lay her eggs that easily anyway. And we've got the legs to do. And let the polish dry into it, soak into it, and we'll give it a good buffing off then. The wood, which is, say, natural wood, so it's going to soak this up because it's been drying for a couple of years now. Lots of worm in the legs, which is why the legs have been lost. I don't know why they've gone for the legs so particularly on this. Perhaps it was damper on the floor where they were. And we'll leave that to soak in and dry off a bit, and then come back. And may need to put a little bit of dark stain onto these ones. I'm going to take a wee bit of a slightly darker polish and just give these a slight toning down. Or just put a little bit of a darker wax onto these new legs, just to tint them down a fraction. Use my fingers for this, just to rub it into the surface and take away the newness. There we go. Hopefully now I should be able to just rub off any excess and that's like buffing up. Smells nice now, and all these little holes that the woodworm have made, most of them have got some filling in them now. I should be able to see if anything else makes a move on my bit of wood. So you can see the new wood. It's not identical, but it's not too far away, I don't think. We'll take it upstairs and see how it looks. Actually, I quite like it here in the kitchen. I might just leave it down here by the side of the door here. It looks okay there. So there we go, another little old antique, just done up a little bit.